My name is Monica Corton, and I'm the Senior Executive Vice President for Creative Affairs and Licensing at Next Decade Entertainment. I graduated from the Hart School of Music with 2 bachelors, one in flute performance and one in education. I also have a Kodai certificate. And then I had a really bad experience student teaching. And luckily, Hart had a music management program, and the gentleman that ran the program came up to me and said, "Why aren't you thinking of music business?" And I said, "Okay, what do I do?" And he sent me kind of on informational interviews that led to a short stint with a very prominent music manager here in New York for classical people. And that led to a job in music publishing because people kept telling me all the money's in publishing. And I got a job working for Sylvia Goldstein, who was head of business affairs at Boosey & Hawkes, which was at the time a huge classical music publisher that represented Stravinsky and Bartok, Britten, kind of everybody that had been happening for me. And also Leonard Bernstein shared an office next door, so it was a very exciting time. And then I moved to their print division, where I was working on helping their print clients, who were primarily professors, and some of my professors, teaching around the country and getting their materials to them wherever they were teaching. And then I decided classical wasn't what I wanted to do, and I was thinking of going to law school. I went to work for Ron Beanstalk as his assistant, and he did a lot of instrument endorsement work. And so we had Liberty DeVito and Rob Morgenstein and Steve Morse and all these exciting, great players. And I was hooked on popular music. And from there, I went to Cherry Lane. I was the contracts administrator in the print division when they signed Guns N' Roses and Metallica and Faster Pussycat all at the same time, and had a really broad catalog. We did Linda Ronstadt's Cry Like a Rainstorm and all kinds of books, and I met tons of people doing that. But Cherry Lane had major layoffs. I missed the first round of layoffs, but I was in the second round. And then I networked to find Next Decade, and that was 1991. This is my 25th year here at Next Decade running the catalog. So Next Decade's publishing and administration company, and we represent the band Boston's first record, which was most of their big hits. And we represent Vic Mizzy, who wrote the Addams Family theme and Green Acres theme. We represent Harry Belafonte's catalog. We represent Jan Johnston, who's a trance writer, who's had a lot of hits with Tiesto and Paul Van Dyke and Paul Oakenfold. We have Bob McGrath from Sesame Street. I have 2 Broadway writers, Marcy Heisler and Zena Goldrich. We have a 70s R&B catalog that has a lot of Millie Jackson, Joe Simon songs that have been sampled a lot in major songs like Mano's High Hater, and Young Jeezy's Born Alone, Die Alone, and I hope that's right. Born Alone, Die Alone. No, Born Alone, Die Alone is from the 50 Cent movie. And so we've had a lot of success in sampling. And we have some Carly and Lucy Simon children's songs, and we have a European sub-publisher that we represent here that has a lot of songs with Dokken, and Ray Griff's country catalog. Ray Griff was a major writer in the 70s and had a lot of hits with major artists of that time. So it's a very eclectic catalog, and then we're always also looking for new writers who we believe we can help bring to that next level. I'm really close to the clients. I have great relationships with them, and I believe in their music, and I'm passionate about trying to find new ways to license it and make sure that they're getting the most money that they can for every single deal. I'm kind of a stickler that way, and I like learning new ways to try to license their music and finding new writers and helping those people develop new ideas, and cross-pollinating writers who might not be in a certain kind of sync license or a path, and because we represent Boston or Harry Belafonte, somebody will come to us for them, and then I'm able to pitch them some of our lesser known writers, which creates opportunities for them that they might never have had if they didn't have a publisher representing them. Well, I think on the upside, artists now have a direct trajectory to their fans. If you can really commandeer the digital world and get a following on Spotify and on YouTube and some of the other digital services, you can create a path for yourself that can help you generate income. The problem is you're not necessarily going to know the business side. So at some point, once you've developed enough of a following and have some kind of income, you are going to need an industry person to help bring you to the next level. But I think as far as opportunity, the doors are wide open. That said, you need to really market everything you're doing. I mean, it's a lot of work. And what happens, or what I've seen happen, is, there are great musicians out there, but they're not necessarily strong at the business side. And there's a lot of business people who aren't really that great musically, who are doing really well in those spaces. So if you feel like you're not one of those people that can get the business side going and market yourself, then you need to find somebody that can help you do that. And it doesn't initially necessarily have to be an industry person. It has to be somebody that's passionate about trying to get into the business, and somebody who hopefully has a good business sense on their shoulders, which isn't always easy to find. But rely on your parents a little for maybe some advice on vetting those people. And the minute you feel like something fishy's going on, it probably is, and make sure you figure out what that is and stop it happening before it gets too big, because there's no major artist out there that doesn't have a horrible sob story about the business, because they've all been taken advantage of in some way. If you're a really good musician, you don't really think with the side of your brain that talks about business. It's for some reason, there's a direct opposite effect there. And so it's normal for you to have been taken advantage of. You shouldn't feel bad. It happens to everybody, but hopefully you can limit what happens to you that's in a bad vein and set yourself back on the right track.